Hi, and welcome to a special Friday edition of the Fun Astrology video podcast. Thomas Miller here. Why is it special today? Well, it's special because today I finally cracked open the windows. I think we'll get interrupted. There we go. I say it's not going to be long before one or both of these cats come into the shot here. So that one is Charlie, and Leo can't stand it. Leo's going to come over here before going over there. I wanted you to see these cats before we get out of here for the, there we go. There they are. They have just been adorable to take care of. Aren't they something? Oh, there's a bird feeder out there, but the birds are safe, so we'll watch them together. I just thought that would be a fun little addition to today because today is special. Today is really when three of the world's major religions are celebrating major holiday in their faith system. So what that implies is a lot of spiritual energy is going up into the sky this weekend. So it's almost like, wow, we really need to know where the planets are and what the configurations are that are going on because there's a lot of added energy that you don't have any other weekend of the year. So this is a super special weekend. There's an interesting little theme that has come from looking at these charts a couple of different ways that we'll pick out. So let's break down what's going on, first of all. And today, on Friday, basically, we don't have a lot. The moon is still in Libra, where we'll have a full moon tomorrow. We'll talk about that in a second. Here is the oracle, kind of an interesting setup, actually, for the holiday that is being celebrated this weekend, at least by two of the faiths, that Chiron, the wounded healer, has crossed up over the ascendant, and then the next planet that we're observing, like we talked about yesterday, Eris, moves up before the sun. So kind of interesting, isn't it? Let's tuck that theme under the brim of our hat. We'll come back to it because I think there's something significant about that wounded healer being so prominent in at least the establishment of the chart today. But some people don't actually acknowledge those two planets in the chart, which would put Jupiter as the oracle planet, the one that rises before the sun. And of course, Jupiter is the co-star of the big show this week. So you can read that one of two ways, and I think that that's going to be significant as we see what happens the rest of the next 3 days. So let's go hop over to Saturday. Now we have, as I mentioned, voila, here is the full moon. That happens at 2:54 p.m. And I wanted to show you an app that I use that is kind of cool. Let's go back over here. This is called iLuna. I can't show you the front screen because there's really not one. But iLuna, and that's the I with the dot on top, not this I. And it tells you all of these aspects. So right there is Saturday. You can do this, or it has a calendar function as well. But there's Saturday, and it tells you when the full moon is going to be at 2:54. This is one of the few programs on my phone that I have the alerts that come up. It's that and astrology and my calendar. That's basically it. And then I like the Zen silence. I'll go find the messages. I don't want them, pinging me all day long. So that will set you up for the full moon. So the best night to howl at the sky will definitely be Saturday night. And this is going to be a big, beautiful moon. So if it's clear skied where you are, hopefully you'll get to enjoy that. And then on Sunday, we have one little aspect, but I circle it because I think it kind of sets up what we're going to take a look at for the theme of this weekend. It's a sextile between Mercury and Venus. Now, I wanted to bring us back to today because there's something very subtle and very special in the chart. Remember, we have a full moon tomorrow. Let's take a look at this. It's so subtle, we almost would miss it. But if we follow these two lines, look, folks, those of you who like the yod aspect, Well, we have one this weekend. Here are the players: Venus, and over two, and this is where I'm kind of saying is also another special meaning that we can include also Neptune and, I'm sorry, Uranus and Mercury in this. I mean, they're almost in this conjunction within, 5 degrees. That this is just a super special symbolism that you can't make up. And you just have to attribute this to the beauty of studying all of this, and especially these little daily nuances. That's why I love doing this, because the Yod is the 10th letter of the Hebrew alphabet, and it basically means hand, and is interpreted in by Judaism. I looked at a site of Jewish practice. I'm not Jewish, obviously, but I've studied it quite a bit in especially my previous life, because it's so foundational to Christianity. That 10th letter, Yod, represents hand. And this weekend, Passover, that God not only created the protection of his people in Egypt, but then led them out by his hand safely. Beautiful symbolism. And beautiful symbolism for us today, because as the world is facing uncertain times, here we have, on the beginning day of this magical weekend, God's hand coming down into the chart to say, just as days of old, my protection will be there for you. My protection will be there for you. There is a way through. And even all of the things that may lie ahead for us, we might borrow from those stories in the Old Testament of God protecting his people through rough times. We also have the symbolism in Christianity of exactly what showed up in the chart on the planet rising before the asteroid, if you will, the comet rising before the sun, the wounded healer, that there is hope for our destiny and for our path. There's just some richness in this chart. So as these planets become central to the rest of the weekend, the full moon on Saturday, and then on Sunday when Venus and Mercury finally align, there is just an incredible picture of the hand of God on all of us. And the thing that I thought we also might think about, because as these two are moving into a conjunction with Mercury and Uranus, is to be thinking about Mercury, thinking about those unusual areas or those offbeat areas where we might be a little bit out of alignment, that we can bring ourselves back in. Remember that quincunx aspect on the full moon? Well, here we can use that to our advantage, to our analysis favor, if you will, to realign ourselves with the most perfect path we can be aligned with, because we want to be in favor, so that as this hand of God protects, that we are within the scope of that protection. What a beautiful symbolism. And I do wish each of you, no matter how you're practicing this weekend, whether you're experiencing some of these, and I wanted to wish to each of you, however you are practicing or celebrating this weekend, the very, very best. It is indeed going to be some kind of special. Thanks for watching. See you back on Monday.